One thing about Cold Smoke is I think it stands out among a lot of the craft beers today. If you look at the market today, it really tends to be very hop-centered. And with all these beers with massive amounts of IBUs that'll blister your tongue. But Cold Smoke really is a beer that is centered on the malt. And I think that's really good and kind of Montana-y about it because we get all our malt here from Montana. We brew Cold Smoke with Montana 2-row barley, but also with a mixture of dark roasted malts. So we add a little bit of roasted barley, which adds nice kind of burnt coffee-like flavors. We add a little bit of black malt, which will add some kind of smoky, chocolatey notes. We add some caramelized malts, which is going to add some sweetness to the beer, because the sugars in caramelized malts can't be eaten by yeast. So when you add caramel malts to a beer, it's going to carry through that sweetness to the finished beer. One of the sort of secret ingredients of Cold Smoke is we add a little bit of brown sugar in it. And I think that really rounds out the palate of the sweetness from it. So all those things combined really make a nice, good, balanced beer. And that's what I think one of Cold Smoke's strengths is that it's a simple beer. And it's also kind of a gateway beer in some ways. You get people who are not really familiar with craft beer, but they want to kind of start trying the waters. But they have these preconceived notions in their head that dark beers are not good. So a lot of times if we get a person to just try a sip of Cold Smoke with their eyes closed and they don't know they're drinking a dark beer, they really enjoy it. One thing as a home brewer you can do is actually traditionally in a lot of Scotch ales, extra boiling time was added so that the caramelization of the malt sugars in the kettle actually contributed to the sweetness of the beer. Due to production constraints here, we don't have the time for that extended boil period, but if you're doing it at home, crack a home brew, sit back, and give it an extra hour boil. The story of how Cold Smoke got its name is also an interesting one. Back in the early days of KettleHouse, the owner was traveling around and trying to expand the footprint of the KettleHouse Brewery. And he had been periodically stopping in the concession manager at Bridger Bowl down by Bozeman, Montana. And he was trying to sell him one of our lighter, more hoppy beers. But he just wasn't really taking it. Finally, the manager said to my owner that if he could come up with a nice kind of dark, robust winter beer and name it something like Cold Smoke. Tim just thought through his kind of what he had, and he realized that we already had a beer that fit it perfectly. It was this nice, malty, robust Scotch ale, which at that time was called Big Pipe Scotch Ale. So he basically said, I got the beer for you, got him some samples, the guy loved it, and it kind of took off. And it was renamed Cold Smoke, which is a term also that is used for the fine, fine powder snow that you get down in Bridger Bowl. It's so light and fluffy that as the wind blows across it, it kind of looks like the snow field is smoking.